Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the wrap-up, your daily dose of pop culture and movie news, hosted by me, Mr. H Reviews. On today's show, we've got two topics. One will be longer, one will be real quick. First topic, Detective Pikachu absolutely smashed the box office now and has broken a record. Second topic, Star Wars, stupid survey as to why people didn't like The Last Jedi, which I want to break down because I think it's utterly hilarious. So, we'll get to them. Obviously, these are just two topics. If you do want to skip ahead, there will be a timestamp down below. And we'll have some time for some viewer questions at the end of the show. If you are new here, please do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on this, the daily dose of pop culture and movie news, the wrap-up, hosted by me, Mr. H Reviews. But let's get into it real quick. The Detective Pikachu movie came out, Ryan Reynolds. Everyone seemed to universally like it, anyway. And it's now done really, really well. So, in terms of video game adaptations, they never really are... They don't favour particularly well at the box office. That's just a fact. This one, on the other hand, has smashed it. Now, the previous record was held by Angelina Jolie's Tomb Raider. Fairly obviously as to why. Came out in that era. You know, rode off Angelina Jolie as well. And yeah, made an awful lot of money. Now, Detective Pikachu, in terms of money and stuff like that. So it says, with a current worldwide haul of 412 million, so it guarantees itself a sequel now, Ryan Reynolds' diminutive detective has zapped 2001's Tomb Raider with 357 million, starring Angelina Jolie, out of the way to become the final boss of the big screen video game movies. Hilariously, will Sonic the Hedgehog have anything to say about that next February? No. Unless it surprised a lot of people by being not terrible. We doubt it. Yeah, exactly. There's a sequel to Detective Pikachu in the works, with Sonic writer, Oren Uziel penning the script, but no release date has been set. That's not a good idea, is it, Sonic? Tell us, what do you think of Pokemon? So, the real stuff, just to break down here, is that it just shows how massive the Pokemon fan base is still currently. It really is a massive fan base. I'm glad that it did that money, because I thought it was a relatively good movie. A lot of people have said it's not a video game adaptation. It is literally a near direct adaptation from the video game Detective Pikachu. So it is a video game adaptation. It really is literally a direct adaptation. So, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts down below. Now let's move on to the big piece today. Yeah, I know. You guys will probably look at this and go, well, that's obvious. I know. As if we needed this survey and study. But we've got it, so I'm going to look at it because it's hilarious. Survey says political beliefs may explain why fans don't like The Last Jedi. No shit, Sherlock. No shit, Sherlock. Why? Why waste your time on a study? Why waste your time on a study? Why? So, a survey on Star Wars fandom has found that political beliefs could be the reason why many fans disliked Star Wars The Last Jedi. Given how divisive The Last Jedi was, it should come as no surprise that Star Wars fans have some pretty strong opinions about the 8th installment in the long-running franchise. Yeah, or that it was just bad. The political beliefs were there, absolutely. The ridiculous decisions to push an agenda that didn't need to be pushed. The forced feminism so much down my throat that it came out my arsehole. Like, it's just ridiculous. Of course, Star Wars The Last Jedi got plenty of glowing reviews, but a vocal minority condemned the film. That's not strictly true, is it? Helen. It's not really a minority, was it? Let's be honest. Some Star Wars fans expressed their disdain for The Last Jedi, supposedly feminist politics, by harassing actor Kelly Marie Tran. She's come out and said she wasn't bullied. When are you going to let this... Like, she doesn't even want you guys to talk about this anymore. Why are you talking about it? Supposedly feminist politics. Supposedly feminist politics. It was there. You don't even have to hate feminism to know that. Like, you don't even have to be anti anything to know. You just have to not be stupid and not be a total moron. It was there. It's not a supposed, is it? It was there. Again, whether you agree or disagree, it was there. My God. Anyway, who plays Rose, Resistance fighter Rose Tico, to the extent that she ended up quitting social media. Again, she doesn't want you to talk about it. Why are you talking about it? You are perpetuating this supposed harassment by continuously bringing it up. You are part of the problem. As it turns out, political beliefs may influence how some fans viewed the follow-up to Star Wars The Force Awakens. Yeah. Now, according to a survey conducted by social scientist Mark H. White, 2, there may now be tangible proof after he found that Star Wars fans that tend to have sexist and conservative beliefs and a negative attitude towards political correctness also tend to dislike Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, let's just cut through the shit here. That tend to have sexist and conservative beliefs. So, how did you get that from a survey? How did you find out that these people tend to have sexist and conservative beliefs? If we're doing surveys, did you conduct this survey across multiple months, across many instances, or did you give a very minute amount to get this apparent, trend of having sexist and conservative beliefs? Because that's what you're implying here. They tend to means that there is a trend of sexist and conservative beliefs. You could have just said conservative beliefs. You could have just said liberal beliefs. But then you've just gone sexist at the start. You didn't. It's not strictly part of it, is it? I highly doubt you could have got that from this very limited survey. And the problem is as well, idiots will look at this and go, "That's it, fuck, sexist, misogynists. That's it." Or maybe it's people not really liking misandrists anymore. That word that no one uses, that they really should. Google it if you don't know what it is. Super important word. To understand White's findings better, a bit of background on his survey is necessary. The previous phase of his research found that there are three main types of Star Wars fans. Prequel skeptics, fans of the original and sequel trilogies, but not the prequels. Okay. Saga lovers, who rate the entire franchise favourably, so just blind fans. And The Last Jedi disowners. So people that had some critical thinking and just didn't like The Last Jedi, you mean? By asking survey respondents a series of targeted questions that determine whether they demonstrated hostile sexism, fuck me, and benevolent sexism, White found that The Last Jedi disowners expressed more sexist beliefs than prequel skeptics and saga lovers. Or you're again, and this again, maybe I'm being an idiot. Or what you've done here is you've targeted a group of people with a confirmation bias because you know full well that if you're asking people that didn't like Star Wars The Last Jedi, generally speaking because of the agenda pushing, again, whether you agree or disagree about feminism or not is actually irrelevant here. You can still dislike something because of a forced agenda. And you're asking them these things knowing full well that they are, because they've had a bad experience with it, they're going to be biased in their response and it is going to be somewhat hostile. Maybe that's part of it as well. Maybe. Therefore, working in your own confirmation bias. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not. The Last Jedi disowners also reported more conservative politics and anti-PC sentiments than prequel skeptics and saga lovers. Or they're liberals. Again, you don't even have to be a conservative. Most people in this day and age are not actually conservatives. They're more liberal than they are conservatives. Most people won't, especially in the UK, they won't identify as conservatives anymore. They identify, generally speaking, as liberals. So again, we need to start moving away from this. But then again, that in fairness, that might just be for the States. So I'll hold my hands up there. So it says more broadly, White found that Star Wars fans who demonstrated sexist and anti-PC beliefs were more likely to enjoy the original and prequel trilogies, but less likely to enjoy the sequel trilogy. Have you also thought as well, potentially, that the age brackets of the people that you're asking here do come into effect? Those people that really, really enjoyed the original trilogies are going to be older. Maybe? Did you think about that? White also discovered that the more sexist and anti-PC a Star Wars fan is, the less likely they are to like the characters Vice Admiral Holdo Rey and Rose Tico. But they are the most unlikable characters anyway. Rose Tico had the most pathetic character arc in the film, was wholly unnecessary, is a throwaway character, and was only included for representation. Fact, basically. Admiral Holdo was a dumbass, refused to tell anyone her plan, and was essentially a bit of a bitch. So why would anyone like them? Rey, who cares about? No one likes these characters because they've not earned anything. People like Luke Skywalker. And notice no one's saying Princess Leia here. Does anyone notice that? We're not talking about Princess Leia, are we? Because Princess Leia, most people that dislike these characters would actually like her, wouldn't they? Who have faced the brunt of sexist critique levelled at the sequel trilogy. Unbelievable. So, anyway, it says, it's worth noting that White frequently asserts his findings are by no means proof that everyone who dislikes Star Wars The Last Jedi is sexist. Yet you frame this article as such. Screen rant. With a relative small sample size of around 5,000, White's survey could never be representative of the entire Star Wars fandom. And there are indeed many Star Wars The Last Jedi detractors who dislike the film for a whole host of reasons that have nothing to do with sexism. So you literally write this right at the end when people have already made up their mind. You are a dumbass. This is the worst journalism ever. However, he does believe that his findings are evidence of a positive correlation. Correlation doesn't mean causation. Causation, correlation, causation. Fuck's sake. Disliking that Star Wars trilogy and having sexist, conservative, and anti-PC beliefs among some fans. Arriving at the opinion that some of the backlash Star Wars The Last Jedi got was unwarranted. Of course it was unwarranted. It's subjective opinion. It's a movie. People like or dislike it. What? Am I the only one here? Like, what the shit? Anyway, White concludes that because of their political beliefs, some Star Wars fans were predisposed to hate The Last Jedi. No, I don't think that's the case. I think... Well, no, actually, I do think that is the case, but that's fine. They didn't make this film for everyone then, did they? They made it literally for people of a certain political leaning. How's that rocket science? Oh my god! Bloody hell. Anyway, so I thought this would be funny. Let me know your thoughts on this big old pile of nonsense down below in the comment section. Here on the wrap-up show, the weekend ones are very more informal. If you liked this type of video and you want to see more like it, then you can head on over to my second channel, Mr. H. You can just find a lot more takes like this over there. I can't believe I have to say this, but I do. I'm not a sexist. I'm not a misogynist. I've got nothing wrong, with any of this nonsense. I just find that this article and this survey, this study is total BS. So it's important just to pick it apart because it really is nonsense. Anyway, let's move on to some viewer questions. If you want your viewer question answered here on the show, please do email it to me over at mrhreviews@gmail.com by using the subject line, The Wrap Up. So let's dip in the mailbag and see what we've got. So Steve emailed in. Thank you so much for your email, Steve. He says, hi, Mr. H. Your show keeps getting better and better. Thanks so much. So, the new Batman, the concerns keep coming in. With a villain roster that big, I feel like we are either not going to be able to become involved in each character, or, perhaps worse, it leaves an opening for some sort of sidekick that they are going to ruin in some way. Your thoughts? Yes, I agree. Now, we've already had some rumours that Robin may be being cast in this film, so that kind of throws out your concern in terms of a sidekick, definitely. I said this when we did the announcements for the villains. 4 is a lot, because that's the rumour, right, that there's going to be 4. But then there was turned out that there's potentially another 2. And yeah, you are completely right. It definitely throws it out that there's too many people, not enough to get involved with, not enough to really experience with each character. And for people to be included merely just for name recognition and for the sake of it, which I feel is bad. It also, my main big detractor here with all of this news is that it throws out the rumours that we were hearing that this is a detective story. I mean, yes, you could just come across them incidentally here and there as you're trying to get to the bottom of a murder, i.e. a detective story. Then I still feel like it's just a little bit too much, though. and it may detract from the detective story that we're said to be getting, just because I think, if you're just coming across people, it ruins the flow. I just feel we are bordering on a territory where it's a little bit too much. But thanks so much for your question. I hand it on over to you. What do you guys think? Too many villains? Let me know down below. The next question comes to us from Jacob. He says, love the show and keep them coming. I will. Thank you so much. And as well, if you do like this show, please do give it a big thumbs up and share it. It really helps the channel out, especially that thumbs up button. So he says, I loved Carl Urban in Dredd. It seemed like a high quality movie with maybe a smaller budget that keeps its story mostly isolated in one building with good action and acting. I'm hoping that Urban will get to tackle the Dredd character again, and that we will get to explore more of the world around him. Have you heard any news recently on the TV series, or maybe a movie that anyone is working on? Okay, so there's no movie happening. There's no movie happening at all. I can say that with the utmost certainty. With respect to the TV show, I'm aware that there's movement on it, but it's very basic movement. I don't think we are, now unfortunately, the latest that I have heard, I don't think we are going to be getting anything out surrounding the show for some time. I will, in the next couple of weeks, reach out to CEO of Rebellion and just ask him, see what's going on, see if there is any news, because we were set to be getting it very, very soon, and now it's essentially been put on the back burner from what I can tell. I would love this to happen, but I'm losing faith in it happening. There's been certain things that have happened here and there which have made me question whether this will occur or not. So bear with me. I will find out some more information, but I guess that's a brief update. There was movement, but I think it's been put on the back burner now. So anyway, guys, hopefully that answers your question. Please do drop your questions to me for this daily show over on Gmail, misstatereviews@gmail.com, using the subject line, the wrap up, and hopefully we'll have time for them at the end of tomorrow's show. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. Like I said, give this video a like and a share, and if you are new here, please do hit subscribe. As always, I've been Mr. H. Take care.